somehow it seems that Satan is more active today than maybe even sometimes in the past. But certainly he's active through communism, through the Black Lives Matter or burning, looting, murdering, as other people describe it. She, her, hers, he, him, his.
I've been a fan of Tucker for years on various cable news shows, but it's such a thrill that he's on at 8 o'clock every night on the Fox News channel.
You're listening to the Fakertarians podcast. Fuck Tucker Carlson. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of the Fakertarians podcast. I'm your host, John Hudak, along with Jeremy Kantorowicz, Archie Flower, one of my sock accounts, Crisscross, and our tech guy. So today we don't have a guest. Jeremy here has done some research on the Ron Paul newsletters, and I'm going to let him take over.
All right. Well, everybody's favorite, talking about the Ron Paul newsletters. Generally, you generally hear the, hey, let's shut up about them, or, why are you slandering, or, but there's something that needs to be talked about. I think, at least. So a little bit of history on them. Ron Paul began publishing them in like 1978. And they've been under different titles. Ron Paul's Freedom Report was the first. They've been under different organizations. But most of the controversial ones came from like 88 to 92, kind of toward the end, kind of coinciding with the good old paleo strategy that was concocted up by Rothbard and Rockwell. So 1984, Paul left Congress. He set up Ron Paul and Associates with Lou Rockwell, who was his chief of staff and future Mighty Ducks 2 hater. And that's when they started publishing some more newsletters, which eventually, went on to earn them like upwards of $1 million a year for these newsletters.
Original grifter.
And Rockwell was involved with the Rothbard Rockwell report, which began in 1990. We've gone over those before.
Can I pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
I just want to point out that Jacob is calling us out in the comments for our sad Mises Caucus obsessive hating lives, and he's watching our podcast.
Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
All right.
Hi, Jacob.
Okay.
Good comment, Jacob.
I want to make a note of when Jacob was standing a guy that was telling a child to suck his dick, and apparently that was, that's totally a Christian thing.
I think we're actually having him on next episode. I forget. I was setting something up for the 14th, maybe the 13th, but don't quote me on that. I think we agreed with that. I don't remember.
Wait, who, Jacob?
Yeah.
All right. So
okay. Sorry for the interruption. I just had to.
No problem. So the viewpoint of the Ron Paul newsletters, they were all published in like first person point of view, almost as if Ron Paul had written them. There was no byline though. And there was always speculation, of who wrote them. They first kind of became an issue when Ron Paul decided to return to Congress in 1996. And at that time, he didn't deny writing those newsletters. He was even defending their content, saying it was out of context.
Pause for a second again. Jacob, are you taking a Dave Smith or a Josh Smith? Okay. Go back. I sold that from Archie, by the way. Archie came up with that. Prior to this job. Just wanted to give him credit.
So he called them out of context. Well, most of these, articles are, essentially paragraphs. They're all 3-4 paragraphs long. It's not hard. How do you take something out of context that's 4 paragraphs long? Like, really? But in 2011, Paul stated he had taken moral responsibility because they were published under his name. So seems like a good thing to do. But as time went on, it kind of got more confusing as to, who was writing these things. People had said that it was Rockwell that had written them. Rockwell denied it, saying whoever wrote them was long gone. And Paul's former secretary stated that Paul would come in and read them all, so he knew what the content was. So, like, why did they become such a topic during his campaign? I was digging through doing my research. I'd found stuff by the late Steve Horowitz, who basically said it was the chickens of the paleo strategy effort that Rockwell and Rothbard had come up with, had come home to roost. The paleo strategy essentially was designed to create a libertarian conservative fusion to appeal to what essentially is the worst instincts of the working and middle class conservatives, by creating this anti-left fusion that was possible at the time because the USSR was collapsing. The idea of a communist takeover of the world just didn't exist. So you couldn't rail against something that was already failing. So why not build it on cultural issues? Totally doesn't sound familiar at all whatsoever, remotely, right? That's sarcasm. So there was money to be made in predicting the collapse of civilization at the hands of the blacks and gays and the multiculturalists, and Ron Paul was kind of consistent in all of this. I'm not calling Ron Paul a racist. I personally don't believe Ron Paul is a racist. Especially given things and how he was later, when a lot of us were brought into the liberty movement through Ron Paul. I can't necessarily call him a racist. However, I
would just like to go on record and call Lou Rockwell a racist.
Oh yeah, Lou Rockwell's a racist. Yeah.
You can keep going.
Yeah. It wasn't. It doesn't. Well, see, Lou Rockwell on other things attached his name to them, and yeah. So,
John, does your shirt say "Bort Unwanted"?
No, it's a cutoff, and it fucking folds over, so it says "abort." But I'm not great at cutting shirts, and I always fuck it up. So it'll be "Bort Unwanted Presidencies."
Okay.
Oh, and also on Rockwell, I wanted to point out the other day that he had this anti-COVID vaccine article that was it had this one guy talking in all caps, do not take the experimental unhealthy COVID vaccine and do not wear the experimental unhealthy masks. And then he had another article about how illegal immigrants are spreading COVID.
Eldritch!
Good evening, everyone. Well, I suppose it's midday for you over there in the US, isn't it?
It sure is.
6:14 here right now.
It's the evening for me.
I'm on the East Coast, though.
That's right, you're in Miami, if I remember correctly. So, how are we? We're talking about racist. What is it? The articles that came out of who wrote those? It was
Ron Paul.
It was Ron Paul newsletters, but it was probably a mix of some people. Lou Rockwell was definitely involved. There's some rumors Jeffrey Tucker was involved at the time.
Did you put a contribution in, John?
I did not. I was actually
Are you sure?
Not very alive for something.
Not very alive? Wait, were you still half alive, or?
Well, I mean, I was I think half of me was because the eggs were there or something. But I don't know if we want to get into science here.
How can half of you be there?
Because when someone gets pregnant, there's a whole
logic to me.
Well, when someone gets pregnant, there's an egg, and then the stork comes along and drops it off, and it breaks open.
My God. I hear libertarians talking about they want to get rid of the public school system over there in America. Now I can see why.
Well, I just want to keep it simple for the Hoppians,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they love me. Hello, Hoppians. I bet they're watching it as well, and they go, "Oh, I fucking hate that guy.
That guy's British.
I'm gonna spend the next 2 hours watching him." Fucking dickheads. Honestly, the amount of times I was looking through the comments, why do you keep put that guy on your show? Well, why'd you watch it?
Well, that's
the real question. Yeah, I know, right? It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah, I love it. I love being famous.
Jacob in the comments says, "Speaking of eggs, can we get a status update on Taylor Swift?" I know Ogle's trying to run her for president, so
Oh, Jacob.
I think that's what she's working on.
You should bring him on.
I think we're actually having him on the 14th or
Really?
13th. It's whatever that Saturday is. Maybe it's the 13th.
Of next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be there, Jacob.
I know he
I've got some
specifically
grilling I need to
requested
do on
you.
you. Hey?
I said he specifically requested you.
I think everyone specifically requested
Yeah.
me, to be honest, John.
I specifically requested you, but okay, I'm going to let Jeremy go on because we cut him off and we're talking about
because it's Friday the 13th.
All right. So, I mean, with that being said, I suppose let's just kind of dive on in and see what was written in the past, what relevance it might have to today, and this seeming revival of the paleo strategy. Not seeming. I mean, it's happening.
It's there.
It's there. So
The word
But
you
I
were
can
looking
maintain-
for is apparent.
apparent, yes. Alleged. So you use vague words like that, and you get plausible deniability and everything.
It's alleged, by the way.
you allegedly get plausible deniability.
Allegedly. So the first one, World Trade Center bombing. So after the 93 attack on the World Trade Center, let's see, it was only a few days after the World Trade Center bombing before Mohammed A. Selma, I'm going to butcher names, was arrested. Is he guilty? Who knows? Some people think this is a frame up by anti-Arab interests. Recall that shortly after Kennedy's assassination, Lee Harvey Oswald was apprehended and accusations were made. We're still sorting that one out. So let's see where, skip a little bit here. Whether it was a setup by the Israeli Mossad, a Jewish friend of mine suspects, or was truly a retaliation by the Islamic fundamentalists matters little. The cities have become centers of violence, whether through the daily and routine terrorism of crime, political bomb terrorism, or the terrorism of mob behavior, as in Los Angeles. Never before in this nation's history has there been such a push for banning guns by federal law. The elite want the population disarmed, so only this government and criminals can have guns. If crime is related to the availability of weapons, why does Switzerland, where every house has a fully automatic weapon, not have a high crime rate? If you are armed now, buy a gun and learn how to use it safely and effectively.
I'm surprised they didn't throw a black people thing in there. I mean, obviously that's what he was referring to, but usually they're a little more explicit about it.
I almost fell asleep when you were reading that. That was fucking boring.
I know there's worse ones than that.
Is that the Ron Paul letter?
Yeah.
Because I've never read it.
Yeah, but no, there's some worse ones. Just
oh
wait.
yeah, there's some more. Yeah,
that is super tame compared.
Yeah,
to
that's
the other
probably
ones.
one of the more tame ones.
Did that article say that every Swiss home contains a fully automatic weapon?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
actually not true. But I think the gun laws in Switzerland are probably the most freest in Europe.
Yeah, I think I've heard that, but it's
yeah.
not like every old lady is in like her little cottage with.
Nah, they're not like you guys, where you basically go, "Would you like a handgun with your house purchase?"
I would, but
I mean, you would. I mean, why would you need one for a house purchase? You could go.
1911. Thanks.
I mean it's convenient.
What's convenient? What are you going to shoot the door off?
No, it's good to have.
I mean, I'm pro-gun, but why would you go say, "Welcome to your house. Here's a handgun"?
I mean, I would take one through like McDonald's drive-through if they wanted to give it to me.
You would go to McDonald's drive-through for a handgun.
Yeah, and they'd be like fucking number 7 with fries and a handgun. Like, let's do it.
You're very American, John. You're very American.
For a gun,
John
because
is very American.
they're super cheap.
Well, Sam Coppinger called me a nationalist, which was pretty funny.
He's a dickhead.
I legit I sit for the national anthem and I wear all black on the 4th of July, and he's calling me a nationalist.
You're probably the least patriotic American.
Exactly.
That I know.
I'm not like the least bit patriotic, but I'm apparently a nationalist because.
Well, Sam just sort of does this. I swear to God, the guy must be drunk all the time because he just comes out with weird shit, right? For example, you being a nationalist. I mean, the guy likes Ronald Reagan. Who the fuck is he calling a nationalist?
He called me a conservative like 2 years ago.
I have a
Well, it's
question.
just like, what?
I have a question for Jacob. What caliber?
I don't even jerk off without a handgun. Well, you probably should find a woman, mate. That's a bit weird. Why would you jerk off with a handgun, Jacob? What are you doing? Shooting a cock off?
Oh, he's married.
Oh, he's married. No wonder he wanks.
Okay, let's let Jeremy
All right.
move on to the next
So-
Ron Paul newsletter before we get in trouble.
All right, here's another fun one. Bring back the closet. So, longtime conservative fixer Martin Liebman got a lot of publicity recently for writing to the National Review and saying he's a homosexual. He was coming out of the closet, he said, because of increasing conservative bigotry and homophobia. Less publicized was an interview he gave to the homosexual magazine, The Advocate. God, it feels so weird to
I didn't
see
know
the word
magazines could be
homosexual.
gay.
Right. The magazine is literally gay.
I haven't heard that word since school. Fuck.
Where Liebman said he was never attracted to other homosexuals, much preferring to seduce straight people, especially the young. Although about persistent rumors of, I mean, it sounds pretty problematic, and that's definitely on.
Is this Chris
on
Hansen time? Is this Chris Hansen time?
Yeah, I have not read this Advocate article, so I will definitely. It does. I mean, it definitely doesn't sound very pretty.
No.
But it's neither here nor there when it comes to this article about persistent rumors of a homosexual junta in the Bush administration. Liebman said, "If you knew." I wouldn't say, but a source who works for the Washington Times says the paper.
Junta. Do they know what a junta is? I mean, the Argentinian government where we went to war with them was a fascist junta, but I don't think gay people have this fascist junta government running around. What the fuck is wrong? Why do these people just use words that they don't understand?
They're scary. They're scare words. I mean, it's really what they are. They're scare words.
Well, I mean, when you're scared of black people playing hockey, like a lot of things scare you.
They're scared of black people playing hockey? What's wrong with them? Have you got?
So,
they need to see a therapist. Is that actually a true story, John? They're scared of black people playing hockey?
You've never seen that Lou Rockwell article? I feel like that's all we talk about. Oh my God, we have Bob Rodas in the comments.
Oh, Bob, yes.
Bob, okay, Bob. I will send you. Okay, time out for a second. We're going to try to bring on Bob Rodas to talk about the Ron Paul newsletters here. Bob, I am going to send you the StreamYard link, and we will let you in here, and you can say whatever you'd like to say to us.
What are you saying, Bob?
I'm going to send it to you right now.
Okay.
And you can. It might be in your message request. So look at it in a second. I'm just sending it. I just sent it right now.
Hey,
come on board, Bobby.
Bob, you're welcome to come in here.
I'd love to chat with you,
John.
All right, so
I almost said please no Bob Rodas, but I didn't.
So, but a source who works for the Washington Times says the paper's investigation of a DC homosexual cowboy ring that I covered last year was quashed because it would have brought down the Bush administration. Lots of very high-ranking officials, civilian and military, turned out to be involved, including members of the cabinet. Sounds super QAnon to me, super Pizzagate-y. I looked into this actual situation, and there was, existence of, essentially a prostitution house where people had claimed they had slept with, some high-ranking government officials, like they always are caught with their pants down, but like nothing spectacular or Hillary's getting locked up kind of thing ever happened because it, really was mostly a dead end besides this one house. So, but
it sounds like a really bad Tom Clancy novel. Like this homosexual junta is coming out of nowhere, is going to take over the country, and then everyone becomes gay.
Well, I noticed that other article from the Ron Paul newsletters. It's called. I'm looking at it right now. It's called The Pink House. I don't think it was in your notes, so I'm just going to bring it up now. And one of the quotes was, "I miss the closet. Homosexuals, not to speak of the rest of society, were far better off when social pressure forced them to hide their activities."
What? These people
and
are
that
insane.
actually echoes something that was in the Rothbard Rockwell report too. Like that entire, it was, gays were just better in the closet. But you kind of see this overblown fear today, but it's now been replaced with, essentially transphobia, super scary drag queen story hour, those kind of things. It's these themes continue to come up and again.
Listen to Ethan Owens.
Paul.
Have you seen this comment here? I demand an invite to this call so I can make fun of the British.
We gotta see if Bob Rodas is coming on first.
Yeah, it's Bob.
Well, I mean, you could try and make fun of me, but you are American, and that's kind of bad.
Let's see, what else did Ron like to complain about? More complaints about the gays.
Is this are these things that he wrote, or did he get someone to write?
So it was under his name, but basically everyone who's in the know says it wasn't actually him. It was probably a mixture of Lou Rockwell and some other people.
Like Jeffrey Tucker as well.
Yeah, Tucker was.
Yeah, because I remember that's what people, before he went insane about COVID, or swimming in lakes with a bow tie. What the fuck? People were saying he was part of that sort of ring.
Well, Tucker actually got better for a while. Like he was actually like anti-paleo for a time in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah, and then
2010s or something.
COVID came along and
went
really weird.
Yeah, brain turned to mush.
Mm-hmm. I think COVID infected his mind. Now it's gone.
So, he complained about the Smithsonian having a asking people to contribute memorabilia to the gay struggle for civil rights. To exhibit the advance of the gay political agenda, which is uniformly statist. I mean, it's the Smithsonian, but okay.
Gay political agenda.
Yeah.
Amazing. Please continue. This is quite a good comedy.
From what I understand, all political agendas are pretty statist. I
thought you were going to say pretty gay.
That
only the gay ones. Only the gay ones.
I have a political agenda that isn't statist.
I mean, unless it's like abolish
just Archie. Archie's the only one that.
Wait, hang on. Is Archie just ahead in amongst some books there? I just noticed that. You guys ever seen Red Dwarf? You ever seen the television show Red Dwarf with Holly?
I don't think I have.
Oh god. Okay, that's too British for you guys. But look it up. Not a very funny joke now because you don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean that is really good, especially because you're quite bold as well, aren't you? So it works really well.
At least your mates will get it.
I'm not actually bald. I just cut my hair short because it's much more comfortable.
I agree with you. That's why I do the same thing these days.
I mean, I could grow my hair out really long if I wanted to. I mean, it's
like
not
Ozzy Osbourne.
Do it.
I mean, I guess we all could.
I'm not going to eat a bat.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not healthy for you. And last time that happened, apparently coronavirus went over the fucking planet. So
it's just the flu.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, it's just the flu.
Just pneumonia.
They ran out of excuses, didn't they? Because they were like, every year, 60,000 people dying from the flu. It's not that bad. Then 600,000 people were dead, and they were like, yeah, but I want to go to Walmart. I want to go to Walmart. I don't want to put on a mask. This my freedom's being taken away from me. I'm being put in prison. You're out fucking inside, not in prison.
Okay, Jeremy, keep going on your newsletter.
Hey, everyone, just look at this Ogle post here.
I didn't know Ogle was here. I'll read it for anyone who can see it. Dennis Perone was tracked down and shot at by police in San Francisco. He told me himself it was because he was gay. R.I.P. Dennis. Wait, did he die from getting shot? Because if he died from getting shot, James, I'm not sure how he would tell you that. Unless it was
I have several follow-up questions then.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I need to ask James about this.
Was it like James was like next to him as it happens? Like, I mean, that's terrible. But
maybe he can go into the afterlife.
I'm gonna look this up and see who this guy
Dennis
is.
Perone was.
That is a brilliant comment, though, isn't it, John?
American activist and
Sorry.
businessman who became a leader in the movement for the legalization of cannabis throughout the 1990s.
Okay, yeah. So he died of lung cancer. So yeah, I guess he could have killed Ogle because he didn't die from being shot.
Wait, hang on. So this guy got shot, or he died from lung cancer? Which one is it?
It
He
says
got
was
shot but lived.
at by the police. That's what.
Or
Ogle
okay,
said.
yeah,
Oh, he got shot at by the police.
yeah,
And then died of lung cancer.
yeah. He died of lung cancer a few years ago.
Right, so that makes sense because the way that James said it was like,
But yeah, we needed some context on that one.
yeah, I mean, he whispered in my ear. I mean, he was dead. He didn't have a pulse, but, he was still whispering stuff.
But yeah, he looks like he was pretty central
So
in.
Ogle does not speak to ghosts. Just to be clear
He keeps posting stuff on my wall as well.
Yeah, he will.
And like, say, I'm going to register you as a candidate.
here. I'm on there.
Okay.
He's
I don't
running
really-
me for. I think he's running me for Libertarian Party chair or something like that. He told me
Really?
the other day. Yeah, I guess so. I don't really know.
You
what's going
and
on.
me for Libertarian chair.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah,
Let's do
definitely
it.
100%.
You're on my ticket. I'm gonna have him update it.
He keeps asking me for my citizenship status as well, and I'm like, well,
Just send him like a piece of paper, like right on
Yeah.
the citizen on it.
take a wild guess as to where I'm a citizen of, James.
I'm gonna say Germany.
Oh, yeah, those are fighting words, John. Those are fighting words. Ich bin nicht Deutsch.
Are you going to start a world war over it, Josh?
Fighting.
No, we never start them. They do.
Are you gonna
They're the
make
ones
fun of
over-
John
But they
Sommer?
were
Sorry,
fighting words. So are
Hey?
you going to start a world war?
No, he survived that by died later. Is how I
That's
read.
talking about the Dennis Perone
Okay.
thing.
Cool. I thought we were talking about Germany there.
I mean, I guess Germany survived too.
Well, yeah, well, yeah, they're still here today,
Yeah.
aren't they? So
Okay,
you
Jeremy.
can't just call
All right.
German John. I agree. Very insulting.
My free speech.
Nobody wants to be German.
They know what they did.
I'm
Take away my
German.
free speech.
Did someone say,
It's a HIPAA
Germans do?
violation.
Yeah, I happen to have a good idea of what Germans do, yes.
They know
It's
what they
a
did.
slight one, yeah, it might have something to do with bombs and stuff falling on my town, but
Okay, Jeremy.
Still in the
Ron
audience.
Paul newsletters. Here we go.
All right. So now
Bob Roddus.
He's still not. He hasn't seen my message yet.
Oh,
I feel like he just popped in to say that we're whatever he
Vile.
said, and then vile creeps or whatever,
that's
then-
really,
and then jump-
really sad.
and then jumped
and
into
then
a
and
lake.
then dived and then jumped into the lake. Yep.
That's an inside joke.
I mean, if you look at his profile picture, you'd expect him to be in Malaysia looking for like children, if you know what I mean. That one.
I'm gonna protect us from defamation there and say that we do not think that
Fakertarians doesn't think that I do.
Fakertarians does not think Bob is into children. I'm just gonna state that for the record.
I never said that. I think I said his picture
Okay,
looks
you said
like that.
okay, that's fair enough. But
He
See?
really
Oh.
is into diving in the bodies of waters, though. I'll give it that.
Sorry, could you speak a little bit louder? Sorry.
Oh, he's really into diving in the bodies of water and posting it on YouTube. He's got a whole compilation of it.
Diving into water and posting it on YouTube. That's his hobby.
Yeah, apparently Bob
I
really
think so.
likes to go to various lakes, dive into the water, talk about how cold it is, and includes video.
Fucking hell, what's wrong with this guy?
whatever he wants to do, honestly. Like
I mean,
he's
yeah,
not
fair.
hurting anybody doing that. It's better than
No,
calling
I
us
mean-
vile creeps or whatever.
Yeah, sure. I mean, crack on. Like, if you want to
Yeah.
make videos about how water is cold, then by all means. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who your target audience is. Probably, but what? Swans?
All right, Jeremy.
All right. So now we've got Dr. King. So now even the establishment press admits that Martin Luther King plagiarized his PhD dissertation, his academic articles, his speeches, and his sermons. He was also a comm simp, if not an actual party member, and the man who replaced the evil. Wait. Oh.
What?
I'm reading really old words, so I want to make sure I'm reading the right ones.
Of
We're all
forced
blurred.
segregation with the evil of forced integration, he said.
Yep. The evil of forced segregation with the evil of forced integration. That word appears a lot later. Forced integration. We hear that one from a lot of people. Let's see, King, the FBI files show, was not only a world-class adulterer, he also seduced underage girls and boys. The Reverend Ralph David Anterbury revealed before his death that King had made a pass at him many years before. And we are supposed to honor the Christian minister and lying socialist satyr with a holiday that puts him on par with George Washington. Congratulations to Arizona, who could doubt that the result would be exactly the same if the other 49 states could also vote on a holiday for this affirmative action saint.
What the hell is Ron Paul supposed to like about George Washington?
I don't know. Yeah.
I know it's not even Ron Paul writing it. It's probably Lou, but...
He really showed those whiskey rebels. Fuck those.
So, yeah, a few things that we see. Forced integration. We see that mentioned. What Lou mentions it.
It's a big HOPA thing.
HOPA.
When he talks about like immigration and when he comes out against open borders, he talks about forced integration.
Right. Another thing too, I kind of noticed with this is, Dr. King is obviously a figure within the civil rights movement. He was not perfect in any way, and there are things that even come out since then that show that he definitely was a flawed person, but yet we're told Ron Paul is great, but we're essentially told we're told to kind of ignore these kind of imperfections, but
like wanting troops at the border.
Yeah, like wanting troops at the border. So we're told to ignore these imperfections here, but Ron is very happy to, basically say, well, screw Dr. King. He did these things. So, it seems a little hypocritical to me, but
well, Lou as Ron, but yeah,
Lou as Ron. Yeah, when you put your name to something.
He doesn't represent the ideology, though, right? So Ron Paul claims to be a libertarian. We can have debates if he or is not, but he is not libertarianism.
Right. No, he's not.
Yeah, so
he's not like the gold standard or something. See what I did there?
No, it's just an old geezer.
Gold standard. Drink.
Gold standard is Mr. Hudak.
Well, I like to tell the Mises people I'm more libertarian than Ron Paul.
Oh, but they love that.
No, and it's true though.
In comes 50,000 tweets.
Yeah,
John Hudak.
Should there be troops at the border, John?
No.
Okay.
Why would you put troops at the border, though? For what reason?
To appeal to Republicans.
Well, what do you would invade Mexico?
No, he wants to keep the Mexican.
For the border crossings.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The middle of the
like
outback in Texas.
Those people that want to peacefully walk across the line in the desert. No good.
Yeah, that's insane.
They want to get jobs and stuff. Like no, not a lot.
No.
That's no good.
No good. Let's put a tank on the fucking border.
Yeah.
So, this one's fun because it just echoes, well, once again, things today. So it's called AIDS. Something else we can thank the government for?
Look at Jacob's comment.
What did I miss?
Would you like to read it out, John?
Jacob said, I believe in closed borders for white Europeans. Keep them out of America at all costs.
That's right, Jacob. I don't want to come to your country. It's a shithole.
All right. William C. Douglas, medical doctor, writing in the Anti-Government Medicine Health Freedom News, gives a fascinating analysis of AIDS and speculates on its origin. I'd like to share his research with you. There are many viruses that grow in animals and many in humans, he points out, but most of the viruses that grow in animals don't affect humans. For example, the bovine leukemia virus is lethal to cows, but not humans. The sheep Vinca virus is also non-reactive in man. These deadly viruses are retroviruses, meaning they can change the genetic composition of cells they enter. Dr. Douglas believes that AIDS is a deliberately engineered hybrid of these two animal viruses cultured in human tissue, and he blames the World Health Organization experimentation at Fort Detrick, Maryland. Fort Detrick is one of the centers of biological warfare research where the federal scientists are engaged in deliberately manufacturing deadly diseases for World War III. Could they have produced AIDS? Could the government have experimented with it in the civilian population as it did in the 1950s with LSD, and had things get out of control? That does not read right.
Would you like me to read it for you, Jeremy?
It's just weird tenses.
What about COVID?
Send it to me on Messenger. I'll do the narration.
We're just
I
waiting for
don't
the
know,
drops.
but there sure are interesting. Oh, I don't know, but these sure are interesting questions. I mean,
I just watched the 47-minute video of people sticking magnets to their arms after they got the V word for COVID, and people are calling it a coordinated scam. That's a Josh Smith quote, by the way. I didn't actually. I didn't watch a 47-minute video of people putting magnets on their arms.
What a shock.
Because people say we waste our time. I mean, can you imagine just watching a 47-minute video of people putting magnets on their arms and thinking it's because they got the COVID vaccine?
And he did confirm to me that he did watch all 47 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember correctly.
Yeah, my mates were laughing at that, actually, John, where you put the spoon on your shoulder.
People kept tweeting the picture of me, like with the spoon on my shoulder like that, and they were like, it was supposed to be like some kind of insult, and I just kept replying with, "It's a coordinated scam."
I know. Like these people would pay. I saw a couple of them from the Mises Caucus, and they were like, "Oh, look at him! He's got a spoon on his shoulder." Yeah, no shit. I mean, I can fucking see that, can't I?
I've got a battery here. If they want to hear new picture, guys.
What he just heard about AIDS.
no. Oh, the battery does not stick.
My vaccine's not working anymore. I gotta get this.
It's a very specific kink. And people are getting very aroused right now.
Jeremy, I want you to move on to the next one, and I want everyone to pay very close attention to one of the names that gets dropped, because I'm going to talk about it a little bit.
All right. So, well, obviously, yeah, let's, speculate that, AIDS was made in a lab, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, it just rings way too familiar there. So when blacks kill whites, the double standard, we know about the crimes at Bensonhurst and Howard Beach because of the press propaganda and because great oddities took place in each. White on black crime. Virtually interracial crime is black on white, not white on black. When blacks kill whites, however, it is not defined as news. A month after the Bensonhurst killing, points out Jared Taylor.
Taylor. I just want to be clear.
Taylor. Sorry, Jared Taylor.
We will talk about
it. An almost identical crime was committed in the Bronx. A white got hour of his car.
They can't spell.
They cannot spell. Proofreading needed. Got out of his car to use a phone. Two blacks asked him what a honky was doing on Tremont Avenue, shouted at him, then shot him in the stomach. There were no marches, no outbursts, no hand wringing, and hardly any press coverage. When a black minister who had helped stir up the Benson Hurstomania
I've actually got it here. I've got it here.
He said it wasn't racism, it was revenge.
So a few things. It kind of reminds me of the time, because assuming Lou wrote that one, he likes to kind of like stir up the anti-black stuff. Like the day after the George Floyd or Derek Chauvin verdict, he posted that article about black crime statistics and like how like ending police brutality isn't going to help with that. But I noticed that Jared Taylor was cited. For anyone who doesn't know who he is, he runs this site called American Renaissance. He's pretty much he's an open white nationalist. He has articles coming out against race mixing. He kind of like toes the line on whether he'd actually want race mixing banned by government or not, but he's very clear that he's against it. And our friend Hans Hermann Hoppe actually invited Mr. Taylor to the Property and Freedom Society. I believe it was sometime from 2011 to 2013. I don't remember the exact date. But he had Jared Taylor give a speech on race relations. And sadly, I watched the whole thing because I subject myself to really shitty stuff for this page for some reason. And a lot of it was Jared Taylor arguing that like black people were happy under slavery and talking about how like if America's not white, it's going to turn into a third world country. So just there's little things you notice when you're reading these. I mean, there's some we'll get to in a bit. I mean, some of them already, but that are very outright with what they're saying. But you kind of got to look at exactly who they're appealing to, exactly who they're citing. It'd be like the equivalent of someone citing Richard Spencer right now. But go on. Actually, I'm going to be right back, but keep going on.
Yeah. Jared has me blocked because I said he looks like a rhino's arse.
Jared Taylor?
Yeah. He was in some group and he was like, "Oh, you look stupid." And I was like, "You look like a rhino's arse." And the next moment he blocks me. I mean, even James Oogle saying that's unacceptable. Yeah, that's right, Jared. It's totally unacceptable. Unblock me. Yeah, I agree with you, James. White people invented socialism, communism, and fascism. Great stuff, Jacob. What the fuck are you talking about? I've been watching some of these comments, actually, when you guys were talking. So we have Turtle David here. Great use of time by lefties laughing as libertarians. Would you like a hug, Turtle? Is that actually your first name? Your parents called you Turtle. I feel very, very bad for you.
He's slow.
What was the other one?
Profile here.
Jeff, whatever that name is, I think it's Polish, said, "You criticize our border tanks, but your whole country has a moat." Well, yeah, we have a sea. It's not the same as sending a tank to the border, is it? Everywhere's got a sea.
Jeff is just being silly. Jeff's
I like Jeff. I recognize the name. He must be Polish with a name like that. I'm sure he will probably comment nice racism any moment now.
Reported. All right. Everybody's favorite. Gosh, I almost want John to be here for this one. Maybe we'll skip it and we'll.
What's that? The David Duke one.
David Duke. Yep. Well, this one's just like Jesus Christ, fucking A, like really just dumb. A mob of black demonstrators led by the Reverend, in scare quotes, Al Sharpton, occupied and closed the Statue of Liberty recently, demanding that New York be renamed Martin Luther King City to reclaim it for our people. I hate to agree with Reverend Al, but maybe name change is in order. Welfaria, Zooville, Rapetown, Dirtburg, Lazyopolis. But Al, the Statue of Liberty, next time hold that demonstration at a food stamp bureau or a crack house.
Jesus.
I think we're on the really obviously racist ones now.
Yeah, that one's just like fucking A. Like, really?
Yeah, that one's an Adolf Hitler speech.
I think we're even like saving one of the best, the worst for last.
Vice Hoffman when.
So I actually skipped one and then came back here because I wanted you here for it because
That's
David
nice,
Duke.
Oh, they finally got him, like that Rothbard.
Yeah. David Duke received 44% of the vote in the Senate primary race in Louisiana, 60% of the white vote, 9% of the black vote. Exclamation point underlined. This totaled 100,000 more votes than the current governor when he won. Duke lost the election, but he scarred the blazes out of the establishment. If the official Republican hadn't been ordered to drop out, he might have won. Certainly, there would have been a runoff. Duke's platform called for tax cuts, no quotas, no affirmative action, no welfare, no busing. Tonight, we concede the election, he said, but we will never concede our fight for equal rights for all Americans. To many voters, this seems like just plain good sense. Duke carried baggage from his past, but the voters were willing to overlook that. And if he had been afforded the forgiveness an ex-communist gets, he might have won. Liberals like Richard Cohen of the Washington Post say he got many votes because Louisianians were racist and ignorant. Baloney. David Bruder, Broder, also of the Post, an equally liberal, writing on an entirely different subject, had it right. No one wants to talk about race publicly, but if you ask any campaign consultant or pollster privately, you can confirm the sad reality that a great many working class and middle class white Americans are far less hostile to the rich and their tax breaks than they are to the poor and minorities with their welfare and affirmative action programs. Liberals are notoriously blind to the sociological effects of their own progress. David Duke was hurt by his past. How many more Dukes are there waiting in the wings without such a taint?
So, a few things. For anyone who doesn't know, David Duke is a very open racist to this day. He used to be the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. When he's talking about equal rights for all Americans, he's talking about like more rights for white people, which is like pretty hilarious. What else do I have here? Oh yeah, we can go back to David Duke for a second, but I saw someone in the comments said, did I miss Ron Paul on AIDS? And there was that one article about AIDS being like a government conspiracy or something like that. But I do want to note that there's another article in the newsletters that said that HIV positive homosexuals enjoy the pity and attention that comes with being sick, and it approved of the slogan "sodomy equals death."
Jesus. Fuck, you know.
But yeah, it's interesting with David Duke here. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I'm reading off your notes. You want to say the Ryan Dawson thing?
No, you can go. You
okay.
You are
so
a little bit more.
Ryan Dawson has been in a lot of LP circles, or at least libertarian movement circles recently. I believe he's been on with Dave. He's gone on with Reed Coverdale. I think he's been on with Peter Quiznos a few times. And
Josh?
He went on with Josh Smith too. But he said some stuff about like, I think it was like calling like BLM members like jungle animals or something like that. Like it was very obvious. And he said some really weird stuff about Jewish people. Like he likes to play it off as just being anti-Israel, and like being anti-Israel is not anti-Semitic. Like you can criticize the Israeli government for a bunch of stuff, but he actually like goes at Jews kind of thing. But he plays it off. But he's a very frequent guest to the David Duke show, which apparently exists still. I think when I looked last time, like over the past like couple years, he's been on like 4 times. And I mean, you're not going to go on the David Duke show unless either you're like challenging the hell out of him, or you have no problem with going on with some KKK guy.
Oh, you like Hitler?
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually. I know.
Oh, actually, speaking of Ryan Dawson and Hitler, he definitely has some like Holocaust denial attributes to him. I think he'll say that something happened, but like he'll say that like there weren't people like killed in the gas chambers or something like that. He has something like that.
Bring him onto the podcast. I'll do.
Oh, yeah. Let's bring him on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Auschwitz and Dachau. As like when I went to Poland, I visited. These idiot denialists where they like, the Holocaust didn't happen. Okay, well, there's these buildings here. Well, what are they? What do you think? There's like a fucking Tesco or something? Like, clearly it happens. Yeah, I always find that really funny. But David Duke, he met with the leader of our far-right party over here. His name's Nick Griffin. So he leads what's called the British National Party. And they're like, well, Nazis, basically. And David Duke came over and gave a speech and then got arrested.
So I found something else on Dawson right now, just from some Googling, as I was trying to find the exact quotes. But apparently he titled the podcast Eric Hunt Holocaust Hoax Discussion, with tags like Jewish gas chamber hoax. And then he began the podcast describing the Holocaust or lack thereof.
Wow.
Did he get a custom license plate with 6 million wasn't enough on it, or what? I mean,
that wouldn't surprise me.
Did he drive a Panzer? Or a Mercedes? Probably.
Okay, what else do we got next? Because I still want to get to this one Ron Paul newsletter that's like really out there.
All right. Let's go through. Rob had mentioned Ron Paul and AIDS, and yeah, there definitely was definitely a lot of opinions on AIDS. Caring for the AIDS patient. The government tells us that AIDS cannot be transmitted casually. The government also tells us that it should raise our taxes and risks our sons for Saudi Arabia. Recently, non-government physician writing in Gene Ontario's Health Watch report, and then plugs it, gives some excellent advice to those caring for AIDS. Wear rubber gloves. Let's see, wear a surgical mask.
Oh, they like masks now.
Yeah.
Oh, they like masks if it's, if the government's saying, you can't get AIDS from, just being around somebody with, with AIDS, then you wear a mask. Boil all of the laundry. Use paper plates.
Boil the laundry?
If I can interject.
Why would you boil your laundry?
Let Archie in for a second.
One quick thing.
To get the gay off. You boil the laundry to get the gay off.
It's not the death they care about from HIV. It's being thought of as gay.
Yeah. Pour half a cup of Clorox in the bathwater before draining it. Always wipe the toilet seat with a soapy paper towel. Do not put the paper towel in the toilet, but in a paper bag to be buried.
What? What?
No kissing, since AIDS can be transmitted by saliva.
Not sure that's science.
Not science at all. No sexual relations, since condoms are far from foolproof. Don't allow the patient to eat in a restaurant. Do not allow the patient to drive or operate machinery due to mental impairment.
What?
None of these make sense.
Are we going to get to the part where we sacrifice goats or something? Like, what is
that's Augustus Invictus.
Yeah, we don't have Augie on, so no goats.
Are you sure he meant, was this meant for the Onion?
This is literally, so the government says, you can't get, HIV through casual means,
Right, so you need to boil laundry.
COVID.
Yeah, okay.
But because the government is telling you to do it, you must do exactly the opposite and bury the paper towel in a bag.
That was the best part. You can't even flush it down the toilet. You have to bury it.
Bury it, right. Otherwise it will be the water supply. Yeah.
It goes into the water supply and everyone drinks it and turns gay.
Thermite.
I just the extreme absolute opposite of how people are, some people are acting today. But it's not a it's not a gay people disease, as a lot of people called it back then. That we're dealing with today. We're just dealing with something that
that's a Ron Paul. I actually thought it was a David Duke letter. That's a Ron Paul letter.
Yeah, no, that's Ron Paul.
Fuck me.
It's probably Lou Rockwell, but it's under Ron Paul's name.
I'd be embarrassed if that was in my name. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
right. I mean, this is embarrassing.
Guys. This is totally out of context. And someone else wrote it.
Oh, is that what a lot of his supporters say? Yeah, well, please, tell me why you would boil laundry. I'm really bothered by that, by the way. I need to know why people are saying, oh, you need to stick it on the stove and then put it in your T-shirt. What the fuck are you doing?
I thought the best thing was that you had to wipe the toilet seat with a towel and then you couldn't flush the towel.
Yeah,
that's the best one for me.
Paper bag. In a paper bag, not a plastic bag. Well,
Zombie apocalypse.
You care about the environment a little bit. I don't get it. Yeah, just the fact that you would read that and publish it.
Right. What was wrong with you? Were you on crack?
There's Blastum.
Oh, this is a good one.
If you live in a major city, you probably already heard about the newest threat to your life and limb, your family: carjacking. It is the hip-hop thing to do among the urban youth who play unsuspecting whites like Planos. The youth simply walk up to the car, they pull a gun and tell the family to get out, steal their jewelry and wallets, and take the car to wreck. Such actions have ballooned in the recent months. In the old days, average people could avoid such youth by staying out of bad neighborhoods. Empowered by media, politics, and the political complacency, however, the youth now roam everywhere looking for cars to steal and people to rob. What can you do? More and more Americans are carrying a gun in their car. An ex-cop I know advises that if you have to use a gun on a youth, you should leave the scene immediately, disposing of the wiped-off gun as soon as possible.
What?
Such a gun cannot, of course, be registered to you, but one brought privately through the classifieds, for example. I frankly don't know what to make of such advice, but even in my little town of Lake Jackson, Texas, I've urged everyone in my family to know how to use a gun in self-defense, for the animals are coming.
He didn't need a full stop there, by the way. What a twat.
I'm still hung up on the hip hop thing to do.
Hip hop. Okay.
This one is so full of just this the vague language, but
well, he talks about them doing it to white people, so it's very clear what he's saying.
Yeah.
Bad advice as well. Just shoot the kid and run.
Right. I mean, that is terrible advice.
What the fuck?
It's
a good idea. Don't shoot the kid.
For a congressman to publish in something bearing his name, shoot somebody and run. I mean, if you shoot somebody in self-defense, why run?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the unregistered weapon, and I'm not going to say much about it, libertarianism and all, but like, this is just horribly terrible advice all around.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, if you shoot someone in self-defense, first thing you do is call the ambulance, right? Because you want to make it look like it was self-defense. You want to make sure you don't go to jail. You don't go, fuck, better go.
Right, go throw your gun out the window.
And also you throw the gun into a lake or something. It's like you make it look like it's a murder.
Yeah, that's not going to look good.
No.
Right. It just does not end well with you. It's just terrible advice.
It's the hip hop thing to do.
I'm just going to say for a Twitter thread instead of on a newsletter. If this were a Twitter thread, urban youth would be replaced with redacted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just to bring that up to 2021.
Yeah.
There's the disappearing white majority. The census, white majority to shrink in the next 60 years, ran the headline in the Washington Times. The Census Department had suddenly changed its predictions. Consider the new data. Whites now account for 75% of the population, but if the current immigration and birth rates continue, whites will total just 53% by the year 2050. As whites are dying off, they are not replacing themselves. Meanwhile, Asian immigration is taking off and black births are booming. The black population is now about 32 million, will double in the next 60 years, and the Hispanic population will triple. I know it's considered impolite to worry about this trend. We are all the same under the skin, the argument goes. Whatever the truth of that assertion, I just need to blow this up here. I made it too small. Whatever the truth of that assertion, it is an empirical fact that in a mixed economy democracy, nearly every racial and ethnic group votes its group interest except the white population. Whites don't vote for candidates that promise to promote white interests, whereas blacks and Hispanics do. Let's see, yada, 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 yada. Basically, something, basically anti-right racism, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just three of Christopher Chase Rachel's neck in a trench coat writing.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Chase Rachel's. Basically sounds like that, the white genocide stuff.
Yep.
So that next article. Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
I was saying, I wonder what they mean by when whites aren't replacing themselves. It makes us sound like robots. Oh, the conveyor belt stopped. We ain't getting any more white people anymore. Somebody call the mechanic, please, and the white people aren't coming out. I mean, what, do you think we just suddenly stopped having sex?
We have Jacob in the comments saying, "Why is it okay to run on Black or Hispanic interests but not whites?"
Well,
So if you look at who's been oppressed in the country, I mean, I don't like I'm not big on like saying like you should only care about one race or something like that. I don't even think people are saying that. But if you look at who's been oppressed historically, it is definitely not white people.
True.
Are you telling me, Jacob, that you don't believe that there are politicians in the United States like running on white interest politics?
Oh yeah, there definitely are.
You don't think that like, and you think that it wouldn't be okay that people like that are like kept out of politics? Jacob, come on.
You might want to look at the last president.
I was going to say, there was this guy called Donald Trump.
Well, the thing is, I didn't even have to do that for fucking decades and decades and decades. It was just assumed that, oh, everybody's white, and we're just going to continue doing this and enforcing things for white people. And that's just kind of how it went.
Right. It's not like these races are like already like treated equally by government for years or something like that. Like there are historical issues there that have continued today.
I didn't say that. I said, why is one bad and the other not?
Yeah, John just answered that question.
Yeah.
Just go back in the video. He's answered.
I mean, it's obviously not really considered bad because look at the last administration. I mean,
do politicians really run on Black or Hispanic interest? I don't think so. You know, if you think about, like, say, Joe Biden when he was running, right? So he was trying to appeal to certain demographics and stuff, but he was talking about the broader bringing everyone together, which includes white people, right? So I don't really remember. Well, I mean, I'm sure maybe there was the early presidents, but you know, I don't really remember in my lifetime anyone running on a platform that was specifically Black or Hispanic.
Yeah, like they don't say they don't say like we got to keep the whites out or something, but you sure do find a lot of people that run on wanting to keep the Mexicans out.
Yeah, right.
Well,
right.
And you find a lot of people that confuse being, something that might be, in a pro-Black interest as then conversely anti-white, and that's just not the case. That's not.
Yeah, but I'd like Jacob to explain to me what he thinks Black or Hispanic. What did he say? Hang on, let me just go back. Yeah, interest, like someone running on that. What do you mean by that? What are you trying to say?
We'll have Jacob on in 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Fine. All right, Dad. I won't ask any more questions of Jacob.
And Shane's comment here, Steve King would be Iowa's congressman if he, wasn't. He said the quiet part out loud a little too much, and he's not the. So, yeah.
Hi, Shane. I know Shane personally, so.
Oh, yeah, and kind of what I said there. Black people need to have equal treatment in society, and people take that as kill white people, and that's not what's being said.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when gay marriage was passed in America. What was it? The Rust Belt. They thought it was for fucking apocalypse. Oh Jesus! The whole planet's going to go on fire.
I was told last year that if I thought, I said maybe the police should stop shooting Black people. Apparently, that was cultural Marxism. I had no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's critical race theory, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, it's critical race theory now.
I remember when Karl
everything
Marx said
else
that.
I feel like.
I definitely remember when Karl Marx said, "Hey, stop shooting police officers." that was definitely in his theory. That was definitely in his books. Absolutely.
Yeah, you missed that book. I Like the Gays.
Yeah. That was his last one as well. Just to give the final finger to capitalism. Fuck you. We're gonna make everyone gay.
Okay, so Jacob here says, I don't think pro-Black means anti-white, but it's always assumed pro-white means anti-minorities. Yeah, because look at who's actually oppressed and who's not.
Why do you think that might be, Jacob?
Very interesting reverse racism talking point, Jacob.
I mean, if you look historically, like who the people have been pro-white, well, let's think. Let's see, Adolf Hitler. He's pretty bad, I would say. Then you've got Richard Spencer. He's not very good. Who else? Well, David Duke as well. Like, these are the people that are pro-white.
Yeah,
Okay,
like I was saying, it's not like these things exist in a vacuum. Like, it's not like these races are like totally treated equally for now or historically. Like, you have to look at it in context.
Yeah, and there's no reason for people to be pro-white. For what reason would you be pro-white? I mean, because we, as you said, John, we are privileged in the countries in which we live, right? We don't have any problems whatsoever. We don't get persecuted for being our race or color or whatever. So why do you need it? What, are you just a dickhead? Like, why do you need to be pro-white? What's pro-white?
Like, what's the issue that needs to be addressed?
What do you? Yeah, exactly that. What's upsetting you? Are you okay? Do you want a hug? Like a cup of tea?
There's also this invention by white nationalists that there's this homogenous white race and that we're not all just from different ethnic backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. They dreamt that.
I mean, that's the other thing that does get missed too, is, you know, like that entire monolith there. And yeah.
Well, there's the thing with, like, a lot of black people don't know where their ancestors were from because they were brought over like on slave ships and stuff, and they weren't told like exactly which country their ancestors were from. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the human race is believed to have come from Africa, right? Which must really, really upset white supremacists. Because, you know, and that's
no,
why
they believe in creationism.
Right, yeah. It's like you remember that game on the computer called Sims? you could just spawn a person like that. Yeah, that's how white people came about. We just spawned. Just popped out of the ground like a tomato.
I want to keep moving because there's still a few more I definitely want to get to.
Yeah.
So that AIDS dementia one that's what I was referencing before. I didn't realize it was in your notes still.
Oh, yeah. If you had heard a certain behavior of yours caused a deadly disease, wouldn't you immediately cease and desist?
Wait. That is too perfect. that is amazing. Oh my god.
I actually missed that when I was first reading through it. But I read it out loud like, oh. Well, obviously for certain people, no.
I'm trying to read that again. What is he even saying?
Shane, wait a second.
Is he saying like if I went down to the pub and got rowdy and then suddenly like SARS-2 like went ripped through? Is that what he's saying?
Right. Would you stop maybe going down to the pub to help prevent spreading, you know, a fictional virus, let's say SARS-CoV-2?
Afraid I can't, mate. Sorry.
Okay, Jeremy, go on.
Would you? Yeah. Gays in San Francisco do not obey the delegates of good sense. They have stopped practicing safe, scare quotes again, safe sex. The rate of AIDS infections is on the increase again. From the gay point of view, the reasons seem to be quite sensible, the New York Times explained. First, these men don't really see a reason to live past their 50s. They are not married, they have no children, and their lives are centered on new sexual partners. These conditions do not make one's older years the happiest. Second, because sex is the center of their lives, they want it to be as pleasurable as possible, which means unprotected sex. Third, they enjoy the attention and pity that comes with being sick. Put it all together, and you've got another wave of AIDS infections that you, dear taxpayer, will be asked to pay for.
Okay, so there's a lot to process there. First of all,
I could change these words. I could change, like, you know, unprotected sex to eating dine-in at Applebee's.
Well, first of all, Jeremy, do you see a reason to live past your 50s?
Given that I'm like you Hilditch, really?
Yeah. We'll get married and live over our 50s, yeah?
Oh, I love it. No, like, yeah, I see plenty of reason to live past my 50s. I mean, first off, my cat will probably be around by the time I'm 50.
Has this guy forgotten that we have a huge problem with teenage pregnancy?
I was going to say, imagine thinking that it's just gay people that like sex.
Right, like, exactly. It's like, all the gay people taking off their condoms so they can enjoy sex. Yeah, who fucking doesn't?
Like all those straight people just having sex in the missionary position for the sole purpose of procreation, you know?
That's why every mother in Alabama is 16 years old.
Three pumps and you're done. No pleasure whatsoever.
3 pumps.
Strictly.
Three.
Strictly. It's
I'll give you more. I'll give you 6. I'll double it. Give you 6.
Ooh, my 50s are going to be fun.
And enjoying the attention and pity that comes with being sick, like oh yeah, people definitely want AIDS. Like they're totally into that. Like that's great.
They walk down to the shop and they go, "Have you got any AIDS behind the counter?"
Maybe the people that think COVID's not a big deal enjoy the attention and pity that comes with getting COVID.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
I don't think so, because that's fucking stupid. But it's the same logic.
I love the way at the end of the letter as well. He says, it talks about AIDS infection. He says that you, dear taxpayer, will be asked to pay for. What are we paying for?
They're totally cool with they're totally cool with paying for like border enforcement and keeping the Mexicans out. Like
no, but they make it sound like some person's got AIDS and they're walking down the street, and then all of a sudden the other guy on the other side of the street, his wallet flies out, like because it's a big magnet going towards the AIDS.
Well, it's the COVID magnet. It's been a long plan.
Yeah. Well, this is the AIDS magnet, actually, John. That's the original.
As Joshua Smith so eloquently, put out there into the world, this is COVID. They're connected. These are the same disease.
What? Sorry, COVID?
Yeah, that was when Josh Smith he saw some like dumps on 4chan or something like that, and he was talking about how it looks like COVID was like spliced with HIV or something like that, so everyone calls it COVIDs now. It was literally just like some random dude like posting shit on 4chan, and Josh like fell for it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, what is he thinking? Someone just catches COVID in the air and it goes, right, let's just plug a little bit of HIV in
no, they're saying it was leaked with like, it was like a virus that was combined with HIV and then leaked out to the population to kill them or something, which is hilarious because like now they're like, don't even think it's a big deal. But so it's either like it's COVIDs or it's just the flu.
Right. It's a bioweapon mixed with AIDS, but it's not a big deal.
But it's cool.
Don't worry
we're good. Right. It didn't work very well.
When the gay person gets COVID, it's bad.
Josh had this post on Facebook. He was like defending this thing. He was like,
yeah. He actually blocked me for a little bit about it.
I'm gonna get more dumps. There's gonna be more dumps coming. We'll see what the truth is.
He was defending the idea of COVID. He was seriously doing that.
Okay, Joshua Jones. Joshua Alex Jones Smith.
What, me? Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
So I think we're down to 2 now. Let's see. So, and I guess maybe slightly related.
Race and crime, yeah.
So we hear lots about black on black crime, but what about interracial crime? 1 out of 10 of those crimes is white on black, whereas 9 out of 10 is black on white. This is even more impressive in a negative sense when you realize that blacks are only 12% of the population. Criminologist, everybody's favorite, Jared Taylor.
Wait. Time out for a second. Criminologist Jared Taylor, is that that's like saying like academic Richard Spencer or some shit. Or like noted political philosopher Chris Cantwell.
Comic.
That guy's totally missing the fucking forest for the trees there.
Okay. Now I just want to see where. Let's see.
But go on that.
Mission. I'm seeing nothing about criminology in his career.
Is he a criminologist? I'm gonna look him up.
I mean, the guy, he's a bit of a habitual liar, right? So he's probably just went, no, I work for the police force as a crime expert. Yeah, I got a magnifying glass.
So he has a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy from Yale, and then he has a master's degree in international economics.
Okay, so neither of those are criminology.
Nothing.
I mean, unless the philosophy of criminology, which is bullshit, because you wouldn't just study the philosophy of it, you'd study criminology.
Yeah, by criminologist, they just mean that he doesn't like black people.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the extent of his criminology.
Yeah, his skills are basically reading newspapers for things he doesn't like. Look at this. There was another crime today. Oh, those black people. Whew.
So criminologist Jared Taylor reports that. Oh, you know what I know? It's like comedian. If you
Why is
put
that
it there,
showing
then
to
it's
my screen?
true. Reports that if you subtract the crimes committed by blacks from the overall U.S. crime rate, we have no more crime proportionally than Western Europe and less than Britain.
Bullshit. That actually hits close to home for me. I'm taking this article on. Right, so let's read it. And less than... Well, I mean, to be fair, why did he say Western Europe and Britain like that? We are in Western Europe. What the fuck is he on about? You know, we're not like Iceland.
That's like
He's just
saying
really
the
mad about
United
race
States
mixing.
and New
He's
York
confused.
State combined.
What's that, sorry?
It's like saying the United States and New York State combined.
Yeah, right, exactly. But also, I love the way that he had to take like the whole continent as well. They go, see, we haven't got that much crime. We got less than the whole continent of fucking Europe.
We have a fan comment from a guy with a profile picture that has Ron Paul in it. Aaron Coy here. What is this? Attack Ron Paul because of some bull ass letters? That odds of someone else wrote, and the one advocate with the loudest voice to push for liberty and for government to stay out of our lives. When there is others you could be going after. It's like you shooting yourself in the left and right foot at the same time, taking your legs away from you.
And I
So
want to
he
know,
obviously did see the start of the podcast.
This
I want to know
that was
right out of
such
the gate that
weird
this is at
comment.
least this is at least the second time that Aaron has posted this comment.
What, the same comment?
It's
Well,
been
he
copied and pasted.
he wants some attention, right? I'm going to give it to him.
Wait, yeah, he said this at
So-
7:04, and he just said it at 7:19.
I'll give him some
It
attention.
was just so
first of all,
good that he had to put it out there a second time.
Aaron, you need to
Can't
learn
even
how to
correct
use
the grammar there.
commas. Okay, use commas. They're very useful. Right, so the odds... Oh, sorry, there's another comment. The odds someone else wrote... I like how he goes, you shoot yourself in the left and right foot and your legs get taken away. Like, it's somehow shooting yourself in the foot then saws it off at the thigh as well, like randomly.
Congrats,
You know-
dude! You are the newest copy pasta. Out of my hands. I have no control over that.
See, there's where you should have a comma. Stay out of our lives, comma, when there is others you could be going after. Okay, all right, Aaron? We're
Also,
gonna
there's
do-
just
are
some incomplete
others?
sentences there.
Sorry, what's that?
I said there's a lot of incomplete sentences there. Oh, Chris, go on. I didn't hear you.
There are others. There is others. What's this?
Yeah, we go
What is
after
this,
everyone.
fourth grade?
But it's okay. Wait, Aaron, would you like to come on? Okay, Aaron, I am going to send you the StreamYard link right now, and we will have you join us, and you can come defend Ron Paul. So here we go.
Oh boy, Aaron.
This is
Okay.
terrible.
And
Okay, this-
obviously, if you watch the beginning of the podcast, we said why we were doing this anyway, and it's not necessarily to attack Ron Paul, but it's to just address the issues and compare it to certain things that we're seeing essentially repeating itself today.
Right,
So
it's worth talking about.
right, you need to talk about it. You can't just ignore it and push it down and say, oh, it was out of context or somebody else wrote it, or yeah, we know somebody else wrote it. Like,
No shit.
Okay, I'll be right back. Save the last newsletter for me. Just talk about some random shit.
Well, the thing is as well, right? These sort of things need to be called out, right? So, like, if you bring them up, and you're met with it, and let's just say Ron Paul was showing these letters, well, the first thing you should do is apologize and go, okay, well, actually, it was written by someone else. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. Has he done that? I don't know.
so he at first he basically said, oh, it's all out of context. He didn't necessarily deny writing them.
Well,
That was the first time, and then people did a little bit more digging and started talking to people, and the issue came up again during a presidential campaign, and so he was like, okay, well, I didn't write them.
yeah, that's the point where you go, I didn't write them. I don't agree with them, right?
Right.
But he
And-
went,
and
I
he
went,
did-
I didn't
and he-
write them, but I agree with them.
Right, and that was the first time. So the next time he's like, I don't, they were bad, and which is a little bit better. And then they were written by someone else though. But you still got your name attached to them, and so
That follows you everywhere.
yeah, right, it follows you everywhere. But okay, yeah, Ron Paul wasn't necessarily, but from, also what's been reported is, he went in and he read them and, essentially approved every newsletter edition. So there's still culpability there, which it does sound like he did take that culpability.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's not
it's
not like Ron Paul didn't to some extent own, the content of the newsletters. He did, he batted around with it for quite a while, but
he wouldn't
it's not
reveal
like
who
he
did
didn't. Right. But it still is something that, to this day, people just say, oh, well, they're just some newsletters that somebody else wrote. No, he has his name attached to them, and they are a result from the entire paleo strategy. And it's something that should be addressed, should be talked about, why they're bad, why these things got out. And let's talk about them and, say, hey, these aren't good. And
are you replying to Aaron's last comment? Because if not, I want to.
So I kind of did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, just being honest, like, you can like Ron Paul for a lot of things. Ron Paul brought me to the Liberty Movement. I saw him in 2008. And then, like, I think 2009, I kind of started going down that libertarian route. I was been an NCAP since about 2011, but you got to point out people's flaws too. Like, you can, I'm totally willing to give Ron Paul credit for, like, the Giuliani call out, like some of the things he did to advance liberty, but just ignoring those flaws is not useful to anyone, because it's better that people in the libertarian movement call out the issues with the liberty movement than people who are against us call those out and, like, attack us for them.
He's not a saint, right?
People who are here, hands up if, like, you've ever, like, if you used to really love Ron Paul, or, like, you came to the movement because of Ron Paul.
I liked it.
Like,
I liked it.
I mean, we're all in the same boat. Like, we've all been inspired at one time or another by Ron Paul, but that doesn't mean that, like, he's beyond.
He was probably probably one of the most recognizable anti-war candidates.
Oh yeah,
for the last 50 years.
Yeah, and I appreciate that still.
And
but that doesn't mean he's beyond criticism.
Right, exactly.
Right.
It doesn't mean he doesn't say stupid things.
Right. These people aren't these people. I just be more specific. Ron Paul, other big names aren't beyond criticism, and especially in the context of his newsletters, you need to learn from history, and you need to call out these things and say, hey, let's not do this again. But we're in the middle of doing this again, so let's keep the conversation going. It's an important conversation to have.
I find it also interesting as well. These people, they kick off when you criticize the god Ron Paul, but then they say to tankies, "Oh, look at you loving on Stalin and Lenin," but they're doing the same thing with Ron Paul, right? You cannot say anything about him. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's this sort of like cultish idealism of personality.
Yep.
Yeah, I see that with tankies a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Fuck tankies, just for the record.
John Hudak's a tanky. You heard it here first. He loves the USSR.
No.
So, all right, let's go ahead and we can do this last one.
This last one, yeah.
Do you kind of want to take this one away, John? I think you're probably a little bit
so we
more
posted about this, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because this is like 5 pages. But we posted
about
this.
issue.
Yeah, we posted about this one in September of 2020 because there was a Mises Caucus member who said that he said that Ron Paul should just reprint this article for today's riots because he was talking about BLM. So some of the highlights here, as I'm not going to read the whole thing. This is referring to the Rodney King riots. It was written, "Order was only restored in Los Angeles when it came time for the blacks to pick up their welfare checks."
Fuck.
Another one. "We can safely assume that 95% of the black males in Washington, D.C. are semi-criminal or entirely criminal." Another one. "We are constantly told that it is evil to be afraid of black men, but it is hardly irrational."
Wow. What a prick.
So that's really out there with the straight up racism there. Like, you can tell whoever wrote that is trying to appeal to.
Oh yeah, and they said that this was taken out of context, right?
No, there's no context that makes it better.
No,
and it's interesting because
the context says you're a racist prick. That's what the context is.
But it's interesting because if it's Rockwell who wrote it, and I think I think Rockwell's probably responsible for that one, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Rockwell-
it mentions the welfare check thing, which is exactly what he wrote in his Times, LA Times.
Yeah. So I was going to say there was that about the Rodney King riots. Rockwell wrote an article in the LA Times. I think it was in 1991 about those, and he was talking about how police brutality is actually a good thing because it makes criminals not want to commit crime, which is not libertarianism. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's definitely not libertarianism.
That is weird.
Actually,
Yeah.
let me pull that up.
They flip out when you talk about universal healthcare, and then they say things like that. It's like, oh no, it's fascism if someone just wants to get cured, a cure for cancer. But
I don't think I've ever. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
on.
No, I was going to say.
I don't think I've ever read this Lou Rockwell article about the Rodney King riots on here, but I'm going to right now. So this column is called "It's Safe Streets versus Urban Terror." In the 50s, rampant crime didn't exist because offenders feared what the police would do. This is by Lou Rockwell. If you offer a small boy one candy bar now or 10 tomorrow, he'll grab the one. That's because children have what economists call a high time preference. They want it, and they want it now. The future is a haze. The punishing of children must take this into account. One good whack on the bottom can have an effect. A threat about no TV all next year will not. As we grow older, this changes. We care more and think more about the future. In fact, this is the very process of maturation. We plan, save, invest, and put off today's gratification until tomorrow. But street criminals, as economist Murray Ann Rothbard points out, have the time preference of depraved infants. The prospect of a jail sentence 12 months from now has virtually no effect. As recently as the 1950s, when street crime was not rampant in America, the police always operated on this principle. No matter the vagaries of the court system, a mugger or rapist knew he faced a trouncing, proportionate to the offense and the offender, in the back of the paddy wagon, and maybe even a repeat performance at the station house. As a result, criminals were terrified of the cops and our streets were safe. Today's criminals know they probably won't be convicted, and that if they are, they face a short sentence someday. The result is city terrorism, though we are seldom shown videos of old people being mugged, women being raped, gangs shooting drivers at random, or store clerks having their throats slit. What we do see over and over is the tape of some Los Angeles area cops giving the what for to an ex-con. It is not a pleasant sight, of course, neither is cancer surgery. Did they hit him too many times? Sure, but that's not the issue. It's safe streets versus urban terror and why we have moved from one to the other. Liberals talk about banning guns. As a libertarian, I can't agree. I am, however, beginning to wonder about video cameras. So this guy is comparing cops beating the shit out of suspected criminals to cancer surgery. And this is supposed to be the great Lou Rockwell, who's supposed to be like the fucking godfather of libertarianism. Just let that think.
Freedom of the press bad.
Crime has been falling in the United States since the 50s. So I don't really know why he wants to go back to a period where there was more crime.
Because he's scared of black people.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I've heard that. And he was like, well, back in the 50s, didn't you have, like, the mafia in the 50s running around, like, blowing people's heads off and everything? And what was it, bootlegging, or was that before?
That was before.
Oh, right, okay. Well, now I look silly.
For the record. Wait. Oh,
Lou Rockwell is scared of black people.
I have that middle of the episode, and I just keep going back to it. Because he absolutely is.
Have you spoken to him before?
No, I actually emailed him. He has a Mac.com email address, which is hilarious. But I emailed him. Yeah.
How the
I
fuck
emailed
is
him.
that?
I don't know. He's that old. But I emailed him telling him I appreciated his thoughts on the Mighty Ducks 2 and that I would like his thoughts on the new Mighty Ducks series, and he never got back to me.
Give me his email address. I'll email him.
Okay, I'll send it to you off air.
Yeah, brilliant, fantastic. I'll send him a really nasty one, actually. I remember when I first heard of Lou Rockwell, there was another guy called George Lincoln Rockwell, and he was the... Yeah,
Nazi,
you know him,
American
right?
Nazi Party.
He made the American Nazi Party. So I always thought people were referring to him.
I see why there's confusion there.
Well, yeah, both called Rockwell, right? So everyone's the
A
same.
little more
Rockwell.
than that.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, when you look into his views, you go, oh, they are the same person.
Comparing beating the shit out of suspected black criminals to cancer surgery is
That's
kind of would fit
up.
in with that American Nazi Party.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
But somehow that's libertarianism.
Is he? Well, yeah, right. So why why is he saying we want the police to be more aggressive? That's against liberty.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, that's right. Yeah. That's.
I don't know how much you know about him, but he founded the Mises Institute.
Yeah, I know quite a lot about him, actually.
Okay.
So he founded the Mises Institute, so he's completely above criticism, and he is a god.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's a cult, isn't it? It's a cult. It's a cult. So he's the almighty father, so we can't criticize him, even though he sounds like has a fucking Nazi name. Anything he says is gospel.
Yep.
So I thought he was the one that was behind all these letters, though, because I remember.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Is that because he used to be Ron Paul's chief of staff at one point, and he was definitely at the very least involved with the newsletters. There's been some like anonymous leaks kind of thing saying that he was basically the driving force behind them.
Yeah. Excuse me, I just vaped. He and Jeffrey Tucker.
Yeah. But if you look at a lot of Rockwell's articles around that time period, the style of writing really matches up.
Yeah, no, it looks like it belongs in the 1940s.
Pretty much.
It's incredibly boomerish.
Yeah, I know. I mean, these
90s.
things are so easily. Like, I just quickly went on to Google. We went, oh, crime's out of control. So I quickly go, crime rate in the US. Oh, look, it keeps going down. So what are you complaining about? What's the problem? Why do you want more police beating people up?
Racists are well known for their skill at English and math.
Yeah.
It's just like today, though, how like after the Derek Chauvin verdict, his website published an article on black crime statistics. Like he didn't publish anything like killer cop like gets justice or something like that. He published like the 1350 shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
The next day.
Yep.
What a numpty.
Just threw it out there. Like, okay, right.
Yeah, these unleash the police arguments have also resurfaced last year and earlier this year with Dave Smith and other people in the LPMC, bringing them back up regarding Portland and the pretty much like the entirety of the anti-police protests in 2020.
Yeah,
This is we need to shut down the riots by any means necessary.
No, but this is where the Libertarian Party should be seizing opportunity, right? Because this is what they want.
There were fucking people screaming defund the police in the streets, and we didn't take advantage of that. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you want your party to... I mean, that was a perfect opportunity to show what you're all about, right?
There's people not wanting to take money away from the cops. Like, what?
Defund the police, but not today.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Well, and I participated in protests, and I was carrying a sign and qualified immunity. I got questions about it. I got to explain it to people. I got to carry a libertarian message to people. And
what is qualified immunity again?
So for essentially government agents, they're basically shielded from personal liability while conducting their job, unless you can prove that what they did was explicitly a violation of an individual's constitutional rights.
And a reasonable person should have known that it was a violation. And that's where the issue comes up, because it's like there basically has to be an identical case. Like I don't remember the examples offhand, but it was like there were cases where it was like tasering a person versus like kicking the shit out of a person, and they said that like those weren't identical cases, so they shouldn't have known.
You basically, in order to try to sue a police officer in their personal capacity for a violation of your rights, you have to essentially say that there's a it's like an established case. There needs to be an established case that says that what they did was a violation of your rights. Well, courts have gotten to the point where they could essentially judge that, well, it was a cloudy day instead of a sunny day, so you don't know.
Pretty much.
They're protected.
So they basically take any technicality whatsoever just to get out something. Right, I see. Okay, so it has to be an exact replica. And they go, oh, look at the date. That's actually 3 years ago. It's not the same date. So on that case.
So, and there was one that actually I remember recently. The cops served a warrant in a house, stole all the jewelry, and they couldn't sue the cops because there was no clearly established case that says when you're serving a warrant, the cops can't just take all your jewelry.
Yeah, there's definitely no cases of burglary ever. Yeah, that's never.
Right, I
happened.
mean, that's burglary, but there's nothing that says the cops can't take it while serving a warrant.
Yeah, well, the cops are the ones that are supposed to come when the burglary happens.
They're the ones who do it.
Not the ones that do it. Maybe they should have called actual burglars and be like, "Oh, hey, police have come and burgled my house. Do you mind going arresting him, Mr. Burglar?"
So yeah, that's
maybe you're better off calling a crackhead.
Sorry, what's that?
I said maybe you're better off calling a crackhead.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you really are yeah.
Oh, someone's joined called The British Are Coming.
Yeah,
and they're putting in.
They're very angry on YouTube right now.
Yeah, they clearly don't like me. Okay, well, oh well. Sorry, mate. Your loss. Who is this? But they literally made an account to target me. Are you? That's sad.
You're special, yeah.
Why
they
don't
really
you
like it?
Go find a
fans.
partner? I know. I've got loads of fans now, apparently. So it's kind of 50-50 as well, John. You either love me or you fucking hate me.
So, well, you apparently live in their head rent free. So,
yeah, I know. They post
Might
something
as well start
about me
Congratulations.
on Twitter all the time, and I just ignore it.
Same.
You know, they try and bait me, and I'm like, look, come on to the Fakertarian show, we'll have a chat.
So, well, that's really all that I had today. I kind of explained the when you were away, John. I pretty much explained why why it was important that we address this stuff. And I guess, does anybody else have anything, or do we want to call it a night?
Well, actually, I was going to say, why don't we look at some of these comments?
What do you want to touch on?
Well, I have to scroll up the 50,000 messages that the British are coming guy. Oh, you blocked him.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was annoying.
Yeah. You can. I'm bamboozled by it. I can't believe someone actually made an account just for me. I do a great job in the show, don't I?
Yeah, they really like you.
Yeah. I like you too, though.
Have you been merched?
Have I been what, sorry?
Merched.
Merged? What?
Have you been put on a T-shirt?
No, I have not, Archie.
I believe I do that.
I have one up on you.
I think we should put on the T-shirt. Like, do you remember when I said that? What did I say to that first guy the first podcast went on about Walmart? You know, where I said, "Can I?" What did I say? Can I get a? I don't know, pineapple, please. It was something like that. That should go on the shirt.
Let's do it. We'll put it up on the store.
Or wanker.
Again?
Yeah, wanker.
Wanker. That's one of my famous sayings.
Was that Ted?
Oh yeah, Ted. Oh God, that was a fun episode.
Yeah, that was very fun.
All right. Well, I say we call it a night, and
yeah. So thanks to everyone for watching today, except for the guy in the comments spamming racial slurs, but whatever. that happens.
Yeah, except for that guy.
Yeah, you can message me anytime, whoever you are.
You should get an Archie t-shirt.
What a
Make
maniac.
one of those. Okay, but thanks to everyone for watching, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
all right. Thank you.
Buy shirt, get money. No, other way. We get money. You send money, we get shirt.